If you ever hear hooves where there should be feet, if you ever hear your name whispered from the woods in a voice that sounds almost human, do not answer. Because across American parts of the world, people claim there is something that wears the shape of a man, walks like an animal. They call it the GOATMAN. We're uncovering real encounters, police reports, and survivor stories, some of which ended with people never coming home. This is dark horror and legends. Turn off the lights and listen carefully. GOATMAN is described the same way in dozens of reports. A tall figure, hair-covered legs with cloven hooves, a human torso, and the head of a goat, or sometimes a twisted human face with horns. Witnesses say it stands upright, but moves unnaturally fast on all fours when it wants to hunt. Some believe it was once a man, a scientist, farmer, or something that made a deal it couldn't undo. Others say it was never human at all. It mimics voices, it laughs softly, and it waits in places where people are alone. One of the most documented cases comes from Prince George's County, Maryland, near an old railway bridge. In the 1970s, teenagers reported being chased at night by a creature wielding an axe. Police logs from the area include calls describing a tall animal man standing on the tracks. One night, a couple parked near the bridge reported hearing scraping sounds on their car roof. Then came the knock. Not a hand, a hoof. They sped away only to see the creature running beside their car, keeping pace. The girl later told investigators, "It smiled at us, like it knew we couldn't escape." In 1986, a retired officer gave an anonymous interview. During a routine patrol near a wooded area, he saw something crouched beside the road. At first, he thought it was a deer, until it stood up. It was taller than me, and it smelled like rot and wet fur. When he shined his flashlight, the creature turned its head slowly and spoke. Not growled, spoke. It said the officer's full name. The officer fired his weapon. The GOATMAN didn't react. It simply walked into the trees. The officer resigned 2 weeks later and never patrolled at night again. In rural Texas, families have long warned children, don't follow voices at night. Multiple truck drivers report seeing a figure standing on 2 legs at the edge of highways. One driver stopped when he saw what looked like a naked man asking for help. As he stepped closer, he noticed the legs bent the wrong way. The figure leaned forward and whispered, "You shouldn't have stopped." The driver ran. His truck was later found miles away, doors torn open. He was never seen again. Perhaps the most terrifying ability of the GOATMAN is imitation. Survivors say it copies voices of loved ones. A camper in Kentucky reported hearing his brother calling from the trees. But something was wrong. The voice repeated the same sentence, again, again, and again. When the camper shined his light, he saw the GOATMAN standing still, mouth opening and closing out of sync with the voice. It was practicing, he said. In Ohio, a group of urban explorers entered an abandoned farmhouse. Inside, they found hoofprints, but no animals nearby. One camera caught audio of heavy breathing behind the group. Then a laugh, low, wet, almost playful. The footage ends with the cameraman screaming, "It's pretending to be one of us." Only 2 of the 5 explorers came back. They refused to speak about what followed them home. Across all reports, there is one pattern. The GOATMAN chooses people who are isolated. Drivers, campers, teenagers, explorers. It doesn't chase crowds. It waits. And when it approaches, witnesses say they feel heavy dread. Sudden silence. The sense of being watched, as if the forest itself is holding its breath. If you ever hear footsteps that don't match your own, if you hear your name spoken from somewhere impossible, do not answer, because the GOATMAN doesn't want your body. It wants your attention. And once it has that, you've already stepped too close. This has been Dark Horror and Legends. Subscribe, because some legends don't stay legends forever. And remember, if it walks like a man, but sounds like an animal, run.